Well, hello and welcome to a new year, allegedly. According to human timekeeping anyway, it's now 2025. Today is Thursday, January 2nd, and it's about 1:30 p.m. here in Hollycong, Pennsylvania, the eastern part of the state, in the United States of America. All these labels, right? So what does any of this have to do with you and your life? And what does that have to do with waking up? Well, that's all left brain stuff. All that's the logical mind and words and ideas and parsing ideas and distinguishing one thing from another. And that's all the province of the mind and the ego. So what is all this awakening stuff anyway? Well, very much simpler than all of that time and word-oriented stuff. Awakening is the current experience of the present moment. You might say experiencing itself through the vehicle of what we call the human body. Take all those labels off. Take even the label off of the senses. Okay, I'm seeing and I'm hearing and I'm smelling and I'm tasting and I'm touching, and my body is located in space, which we call proprioception, and I have a sense of balance or vestibular. We've got all those labeled too. One of the things that we do in so-called spiritual work is we take all the labels off. What is this? Without labeling the experience, without labeling the senses, without saying there's a separate me having an experience of seeing. Well, there's just something that can't be expressed, something that's between the words. And when we just stop and let all of it show up at once and stop trying to distinguish between this so-called in here and that out there, we disappear into what you might call the rest of it, or into all of it, or into this, or into that. Disappearance into this is a taste of liberation. Living that way more and more, you would say, or living that way all the time would be a life of liberation. However, to translate the life of liberation so that it makes sense in the three-dimensional world, we have to go back to using words and thoughts and naming our emotions and naming our sensations to try to communicate what that is to others. Really, it's more like an energetic or vibrational state where there is no self and no other. There's also not a no self. My friend Emerson likes to say, what's between the self and the no self? There, you have a little taste of liberation. So, this may not make a lot of sense to your left brain. That's okay. The experience of being with this allegedly separate guy over here in Pennsylvania, even recorded, in those moments where that's a little taste of awakening or enlightenment or liberation. And it's your birthright to be able to live in that condition. One of the things that I noticed today in this mind, allegedly, this mind, is a lot of thoughts about the future because it's the new year. Oh, we're supposed to make resolutions. According to someone, and it's a new year, according to someone's version of a calendar. And so I'm supposed to, from my mind, decide what this mind and body is going to need for the next 365 days. Well, 363 now, since it's the 2nd of January. How can I even do that? Don't know what's going to happen in the next 30 seconds. I have no experience, no sense, no felt sense or sensual experience of even 1 second into the future or 1 second into the past. How am I going to plan 363 days into the future? I don't know what it's going to feel like. I don't know what it's going to be like. So I've come to the conclusion that I might set some sort of goals for the so-called separate self over here called John Ladman. But really, my life is going to go on moment by moment, and the responses are going to come fairly spontaneously in each moment. And that's a much more adaptive way to live and a much calmer way to live than trying to plan a year out and then ram my mind and body through that year following ideas that I created on January 2nd. So today I'm all over the place, as you can tell, but I'm trying something very different, which is to give listeners a felt sense of this that can't be named when language fails, which is your birthright, which we sometimes call liberation. Whatever you do in the next moments, I hope you've enjoyed this time with me. I am going to attempt to record something every weekday and put lots of it up on YouTube and in other places. My passion, if there is a me left, there's a passion left at any rate to share the state of liberation with others. May you experience it yourself in this lifetime. Lots of love from Eastern Pennsylvania. John Ladman saying bye for now.